baby. So I stand up and speak my mind. Oh.
Good morning. Happy
Good morning.
Monday. If you are going to be in Daytona, that video that you just saw is going to be updated again. Normally I wait until Tinley, but I'm going to update it in Daytona because Daytona, I feel like it's going to be kind of special. And through all I've been through in the last month, Daytona is definitely going to be kind of special because I'm going to be on my best alcohol. So super excited. So if you would like to be a part of that video that starts off Two Peas in a Podcast and Reptiles and Cocktails, let's see you in Daytona.
I know I'm gonna be in it. She don't got a choice.
Unfortunately, he's going to be in Daytona.
got
Good morning,
my little best swimsuit. You know what I mean?
Oh Lord. Good morning, Rock.
You know what I'm saying? Good get the beard shaped up.
5.0.
Can't wait.
Joey D. Good morning. Kara Shea. Good morning, everyone. First day of school. I think I saw Elias is actually teaching right now too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Welcome back to school. Elias looked like one of the kids. But I hope you have a good. Hope you have a good school season. Hope you don't have to snatch no cell phones, get in any fights, all that kind of stuff that happens these days in schools. My daughter has a weird diet, so I've already cooked 2 meals this morning. Messing up the kitchen before 7 a.m. isn't the jam. Yeah, like I was just telling Dre, I'm just so out of tune when school started. I know my grandkids haven't gone back yet. I assume they are going back in the next couple weeks. But we used to get like longer summers as kids. They're rushing the kids back today. So just a couple things. Like Daytona this week. Woo woo. I said that already. Remind everybody to check out my Wolf Market. Have some available beautiful reticulated pythons on sale right now.
For sure.
Although, y'all, let me tell y'all about Dre's. So, as a breeder of reticulated pythons, when I looked at my animals, I definitely separated in the early stages of which ones that I was super in love with, and then kind of had to narrow it down to which one was going to be the holdback based on that. The snake that Dre picked out, first of all, I didn't think it was going to be the one that he was going to pick. But y'all, every time that snake shit, and I'm not saying it because I produce it, like the last video you did with her, it don't even look like the same snake that I produced. It is so beautiful. I mean, I'm not saying that it wasn't beautiful when you look at that. Look how she's changing. I told him that should have been a holdback. I know. She is beautiful. The camera doesn't no justice on this screen right now. If you go to Dre's page or his IG and look at the video of her, that snake is dope.
Here's another one of her natural sunlight. Probably one of my favorite ones, but
she's just getting prettier and prettier and prettier. Yeah, so love seeing them. And that's going to talk. Actually, we're going to be talking a little bit about TikTok. And I'm using most of my sales with the retic specifically is coming from TikTok. And it's coming from a nice, responsible community of keepers. So we're going to talk more about that in a second. But I do want to share. Oh, did I knock y'all out? Hold on, wait a minute.
No, we're still here.
Oh, so I did something on my screen.
You can't see the chat?
There we go. No,
Oh,
it
okay.
just moved in, and that just it showed a map. So I want to talk about that because one thing about me, I'm going to spread the love. And if there's anything that I see, especially in this economy right now, that works differently for, especially like I think it's like this might not be the same thing for ball pythons, right? Because ball python is more of a more saturated market than, believe it or not, the reticulated python market. But there's a niche in a group of people in TikTok that are very unique keepers as far as the larger lizards, the larger snakes, and things like that. And you get to experience these people and how your animals are living and things like that through TikTok, because they are also mostly, I'm not going to say all, content creators in some kind of way. I notice as well. And that's something, Dre, that I'm noticing. Like wouldn't have known that before. You would, but I wouldn't have known that before. I do want to share the love on what I am seeing with Dre. Like people like Dre himself contributes to what I'm doing and what he does, and how it also respectfully financially impacts him. You know, I'm not, my little couple chains ain't yet. But Dre's perspective on that, and how honestly I have a good time every time that I say I'm going TikTok live. It's not like I would never probably go IG live. I do Facebook lives occasionally, but I get excited to do TikTok live. I'll talk about why so much more. I want to go real fast into this. So, this week in the reptile community, there's been a lot of pain, and it's been a lot of people hurting, and personally, Dre and those close to me, this has been a month for me and my family. Like, you and I believe what we've gone through back. And I thought about all of us as podcasters and content creators, because if you were not a Dre or Keys or one of the suspects, you wouldn't have known the hell that I've been through this last month, because we still show up in one way, shape, or form. I think like it may have been a couple of days that I literally just had to check out of social media. But other than that, we are still trying to make sure we edit a video to get out to you guys, whether it's something that we did currently or something we had stored or whatever. And I just want, this is not even about me. I want people who are watching these, especially these podcasters who are doing it back to back to back to back to back to back to back. Someone posted something the other day, and I have much respect. Someone said that, is it a shame to want to make money off of social media? And no, it's not. And it's because these people are putting in their time. I can't say that I commit the time that others do. I utilize the social media for other reasons for myself. I utilize it to get my product out there, to express on my product, to show the joys of keeping the animals I keep. Like, I like for people to see how much I love my reticulated pythons and things like that. But there are people who are doing it constantly. And I just want you to just be conscious of that, and just, support them in any kind of way that you can, whenever you can, because it's a lot. But the community has been through a lot this last week. And I can relate personally, as I said. But I think that the beauty of social media is that how it can come together when it needs to. So I just want to quickly say, I don't know Sal Gomez personally, but there is a GoFundMe for Sal. And forgive me, I thought I had copied the link to put it in here, but I'm sure if Bosa's watching, he'll do that for me. But make sure you support Sal Gomez's family. You can read in the GoFundMe. It's not for me to, it's out there, it's on IG and stuff like that. But I don't want to elaborate on what's going on with him, because I don't know him personally to give any details. All I'm saying is that if you can support the family any kind of way, this is definitely one of them times that I would say, please support. Same thing with Harry. if you guys are not familiar, Harry is no longer here either, due to tragedy. There's a GoFundMe for him as well. And I believe Keys is going to be doing something down the line to help support the family as well. So once we have more details on that, I will definitely keep you guys posted. But I say all this to say that, you know, I thinking of what me and my family went through and then seeing some other people's posts and stuff like that. I just want to say that, you know, blessings are real. And I always, somebody's always going through something worse than you. So at the moment, and I'll just share this personally. Y'all know that I always talk about my nephew. So I had a situation with my daughter, the health scare with my daughter. She's doing a lot better. Actually, this is a recent picture of her. And I didn't take a picture of her when she wasn't doing well because my daughter is a person who she only wants you to see her flawless. She's not going to be letting you take a picture. But then my nephew, right after that, my nephew ended up getting stabbed and was in shock trauma. And prayer goes from this to this. He was stabbed in his artery, lost, as the doctors say, 4.5 liters of blood. Most humans only have 5.1. Not a big dude, not a big guy. He is the nephew that you always hear me talk about who keeps my animals when we're away. My favorite nephew, my son, pretty much. That's my heart. So going through that tragedy and seeing all the tragedy that everybody else is going through. But then, you know, God delivered my nephew and that somebody is still suffering, you know. So I just say that to be grateful through whatever you go through, you know, to have faith that you're going to make it. And that gets to Al Bryant. So this is the scripture that I chose for Bryant this morning. And it says, blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial, for when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life, which God has promised to those who love. Brian Barchak continues to fight. Looks amazing for someone who is going through what he's going through. If you've never seen anybody who normally goes through this form of cancer, they normally deteriorate even through treatment really, really fast. Brian looks good, still doing videos, blessed because he loves and he loved on his community and he continues to love this community. So I just want to shout out to Brian. And also I had a great visit yesterday and we went live with Dre yesterday with Sean from Yo-Yo Reptiles. Sean was home for over a week or so. He's originally from the DMV. We talked about that. If you ever seen the podcast we've done together. He was home for over a week or so. And just with all I had going on personally, we didn't connect earlier. But we said we could not miss each other this time because we did before. And we made it happen. And he came over. We chilled with the animals. He's going to be sharing footage of that. Really great time. Really good seeing Sean, meeting him in person. And just, you know, even here, his passion continued. We was cleaning some of the enclosures and he cleaned T'Challa enclosure by himself. He just had to do something because he don't know how to vacate. But shout out to Sean. Fun live with Dre yesterday. And we're going to be talking about that TikTok. Dre is my inspiration behind TikTok. But utilizing it in different ways. Like Dre doesn't yet breed and sell animals, and I do. But how the two still correlate, and most important, the educational part. So it's like we're educating people at the same time. It's a lane that works for Dre and his content creation and his education, but in a lane that works for me with breeding and educating people about what we do, why we do, sharing our passion for these animals. So Dre, I want you to start off with just kind of talking about your inspiration behind TikTok originally and how you feel about it now. And, you know, I'll chime in. because he knows all the details about how you utilize the lives and stuff. I'm getting better. I'm learning day by day. But like there's stuff that happens on TikTok, like last week, that you are, I guess I just thought they were just sending hearts and gifts and stuff like that, but it's actually like monetization as well, and we're just having fun, right? Like,
Yeah.
just having fun.
Well, yeah. First off, we need to give Nicole some props because as much as I had to beg her to get on TikTok, this girl is killing it. Her lives be banging.
I'm having fun.
So y'all need to make sure y'all check her out on there. I'll be having to stay on her. Like, are you going live? She didn't even tell me she was going live yesterday, but when I go live, she's like, you don't ever tell nobody you're going live. But whatever.
It happened quick because that was the last thing we did. Like we had did his footage and that kind of stuff, and he was with all the animals, and then it was like, let's go live. But I knew you would see it. You on TikTok? Wait, like you live, Dre live 5 times a day.
Listen, I made like $600 this weekend going live.
I'm not mad at you. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to get better.
But yeah, it's a great tool to use. I used to be so against TikTok. I didn't even want a TikTok because I just saw it as like a kid's app. And this was like prior to even being able to have the feature to go live. I couldn't stand TikTok. So when I finally got a TikTok, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm not gonna make any content. And then I started finding like these sounds, and I'm just like, I know I can make something out of this. I know I can make a reptile related TikTok out of this. So for those that have seen my TikToks, I know my humor is a little bit different, but it highlights reptile humor in just a different way. And I feel like a lot of the stuff that I do on TikTok, most people stay away from just because of what it is. But what up, Keys?
Hey, bro.
To be able to
It's Daytona week.
Facts. To be able to go live and honestly, it started at the right time because Instagram just took away the bonus program, and that hurt everybody. So to be able to go live and you reach a whole new level of people, and I mean it's mostly non-reptile keepers, which I think is where we need to be targeting anyway. Yeah, so
it's non-reptile keepers
yeah.
too.
So
and that educational part, go ahead. It's just that's what
it's
I love.
that's my favorite part, and I think that's where we need to be targeting anyway, because those are the people's minds we need to be changing. I'm not gonna say we need to persuade them to change, but even if they're not gonna get a snake, they're gonna ask questions, and that's the best part about it, because it actually gives us an opportunity to not necessarily convince them, but educate them on exactly what it is like to keep a snake. And that's the best part about it. And not just snakes, reptiles in general. And I'm grouping in tarantulas and amphibians into that as well, since it's all grouped together.
Because there's a lot of different things. But I want to chime in real fast right there, Dre, so I don't forget. Mm-hmm. Because of what Dre said, it's a good platform for it. We, as breeders, keepers, whatever you're going to use it for, have to show responsible keeping, because you have fragile people who will show up, who are already scared to click on the picture of you and the snakes. And we've shown all things. I've showed 8 babies in the incubator. We've shown all kinds of stuff on there together. We have to, I don't want anyone transferring to TikTok if you are not responsible with the content that you're going to put out. And I'll use an example. You guys know that I don't use hooks for my retakes. But as I was explaining to Sean yesterday, when we got on the TikTok, although before me and Sean got on camera, he saw me handle all of them without hooks. But because me and Sean are doing something together, and he also has an educational portion of his business, we're going to present it like you should. Now, it was brief with the hook, but someone at least saw us put it in the hand, because my animals ain't used to it. They like, what the hell is this, lady? What is this thing?
Facts.
So, but we gotta be conscious of that. As cool as it is that I have that relationship with them, and I talk about that to people, Let them know that, like when people say I got a baby from her and I can just pick it up and this, and it is, I'll talk about what I do differently and how I start to treat them that way as babies. But I got to keep in mind on a forum like TikTok, somebody's child is also sometimes scrolling through. And if they're going to come across my page, first of all, I want them to see articulate, well-presented woman before them. I don't want to just be sounding like any kind of way. The way I talk on TikTok is totally different. Dre, you can agree that like it's like the school teacher voice.
Yeah, I'm always sketchy when you're nice to me. I'll be like, I'm gonna hear about this later.
Like, what is this? What did you say? But it's fun and how I respond. Where I normally, if someone needs to be checked, Dre or somebody else in the chat would check them. I try
respectfully though.
Respectfully,
because also
yeah.
I'm a moderator, but also I understand and respect that she has her brand, and I'm not gonna do anything to diminish that. So although we clown, we get goofy, or if it's like a dumb question, as a moderator in her chat, I jump on it before she even has the chance to. So yes, that's one thing I will say.
Yeah, agreed. And the other people, I want to talk about that part of it. As a breeder, if you breed animals, I'm building my own community of responsible reticulated python keepers through people who've kept them already on a smaller level, or people who kept other big snakes, but want to find out and learn about retics. They're coming on every live to learn more and more and more before they purchase. But they're transferring over to my morph market and starting to find traffic and hitting favorites and on my animals, and some of those people have purchased. In fact, most of my animals, other than the ones sold at shows, came from a TikTok lead, one way or the other, or someone who was on Dre's TikTok looking at the snake that Dre brought in. Where did you get it from? And that person actually showed up on my morph market and say, hey, I learned about you on TikTok and your animals, and I want to buy that animal. But what I love is that because we are a community, I get to see firsthand how these people are living with my animals. They're also on TikTok all the time, showing the animals off, beautiful homes, the animals out in the grass.
And aside from that, a point I'd like to make, I've met multiple friends through Nicole just because they have a sibling of one of the snakes that I have. So it makes it even better, and it brings us closer and closer. And some of these people aren't even all the way into the reptile community just yet, but it makes it dope. It makes it all the more better, and it brings us all a little bit closer because now that's something that we can all kind of bond in together. So I know I've talked to a few of them, and we're all going to go live together eventually and show off the babies we got from Nicole. We'll have us a little virtual family reunion. So it's just a lot of fun stuff, as far as what you can do on TikTok, especially given that our industry is always under attack. It's nice to be able to get on there uninterrupted and show people exactly what you should and shouldn't be doing. Because I will say, of course, there's always going to be people on there that do things the incorrect way. So it's our job to
Wait a minute, Dre. Audio! That's going to be our new ODM call field. I already told Big D.
It's our job to make sure that we just denounce a lot of that behavior. This girl's still laughing. Because I can't tell you how many times, I can't tell you how many times I've scrolled on TikTok and I've seen, and it's always the idiots who have the most viewers because they're doing a lot of idiotic things for the views and clout, and that's probably the one downside of TikTok. It's easy to, pull the wool over people's eyes, especially the ones who don't own reptiles, because there's so many times when people hop in my life, hey, I was on this person's live and they did this, they did this, and it's just like, just because they did that doesn't mean it was the right thing to do. They did that because they want y'all to gift them And there's certain people on TikTok where they'll basically kind of like panhandle. So basically, the way you get paid, one of the ways you get paid on TikTok is through gifts. People gift you, and basically, there are so many people who keep reptiles that will do some of the most outlandish things to get gifted, and that will include stressing out their animals, making their animals strike at them just to have that wow factor, just to get more gifts, to get more views, and that's just not something I'm into. And you don't have to do it, but people do it anyway. There's a couple accounts that I can think of that they're spreading so much false information. There was a girl just recently she did a live and she had like two other people on there, and she, considers herself a reptile expert. And she basically was explaining why live feeding is the only option snakes should have. And stuff like that is just like, and of course she had 2,000 people in her live. And a lot of people don't know who to believe when it comes to stuff like that. But it sounds, as somebody who's not into reptiles, somebody that's keeping snake, anything that they're telling you is going to sound good. So then when that same person that came from that live soaked up all that information and then jumps in a live like me or Nicole, we have to pretty much try to undo or really educate them and get them to understand, like, just because a person has snakes doesn't mean that they're going to do things the right way. Doesn't mean that they're actually in the reptile community, because personally, to me, if you're in the reptile community, then you're up to date on information and certain proper practices. You support U.S. ARC, and you do any and everything in your ability to paint these animals in a positive light. And not everybody can do that. So I feel like that's probably one of the big downsides to being on TikTok, is that it's one of the true social media platforms where you're really reaching out to the masses, because you literally never know who's going to join. You never know who's watching you. So there's so many people
who
to
just sit there and don't say anything.
Exactly. And it's questions galore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you ever wanted to, if I could go back and start all over, I would have started my TikTok. If TikTok existed then, I would have started my TikTok first to get my feet wet with publicly speaking to people and getting them educated with certain reptiles. Because there are so many good questions that pop in the chat, and you're like, oh snap, I got to answer this one. Oh snap. And some people truly just don't know. Is it true that, snakes can eat you, or can that one swallow you? And it's a lot of it is just regurgitated questions that we've heard time and time and time again. So it's really just kind of just doubling back and basically just trying to denounce the fear that a lot of people have for a lot of these reptiles. But the beautiful part about it is you get to get paid for it, because a lot of people, when they see what you're doing and they like what you're doing, they're going to start gifting you anyway. And what I mean by panhandle, like I said, people will panhandle, stress their animal out, and then ask for people to gift them. The most I'm going to ask for is some likes. Just double tap the screen and share the video.
Yep.
Share the video. That's pretty much it. Now,
and
of course,
like Dre said, I like to show like debunking, but even with that, like yesterday, someone said, well, you love them so much, can you kiss your snake? Well, I can't recommend that you do it, but based on the relationships that I have and this baby that I have, here you go. Yes, I can. This snake doesn't care about that because of how it was raised. But I also, a lot of times people will be like, well, I want a retic that's already big. I will say quickly, I don't recommend that. And what I also love, and this is something I want to share for other breeders, especially if anyone who's watching silently here, I will shout you out. If I don't have the animal someone want, like the other day, someone wanted a cow. I don't have no baby cows over here. Only cow I have is the one that I paid for. But I know that In Your Face Exotics have cows available. Go over to their page. Go over to their Morph Market. We share other breeders' information. Now, I'm not sharing somebody that I wouldn't buy from, right? I don't care what they have. But I respect a lot of people in the retic community that I can refer people to other people if I don't have what they want. So it's not a thing of where Of course, like I always joke and say, yes, if you're going to get a retic, you should get one for me. But if you want a very specific one that I don't have, I know breeders that you can get that animal from today. And in this market, I'm going to make sure you get that from another breeder and not go to, like some people will ask us in the chat. Should I just go to my local pet store? Hell no. People don't know that. Nope, don't go to your local pet store. I know plenty of breeders that you can get an animal from.
Go to your local pet store for not any reptile.
Yeah.
If it's a specialty reptile store, that's better, but still be cautious because a lot of them are buying from wholesalers and you just don't know the history. Especially if you're trying to get into breeding. If you're buying an animal and you don't know the history of that animal, so you don't know what genetics and hets and everything is in there, it's pointless because then you're gonna spend your whole life breeding trying to prove out animals when you could just go buy something you know is in there.
Yeah. So yeah, I think too, another advantage is we always talk about, and you hear a lot of breeders talking about it now, you got to bring more people into the hobby, more people. So we use the TikTok platform to send people to all these other different platforms, other people's morph markets, other people's IGs, other people's Facebook, other people TikTok. And what we're finding, and what I'm personally finding, is that I can be on Dre's TikTok and on some other reptile person who Dre might not even know TikTok. And those same people are following me to those other places or following Dre to those other places. So it's like this real genuine community because you don't have to follow for no other reason than you just want to follow, because we're not doing anything, or other people are not doing anything but showing animals. Like some people actually even do things like show egg cuttings and things like that responsibly, because that's another thing. I love that there's people in there, and people will ask the question, well, why are you cutting the eggs? And people will articulate the why they're doing it. It's not just they on there, cutting eggs and I'm cutting them because I want to, or anything like that, because that's not good for new people in the hobby to not understand the why we do things either.
Right. I will say the only thing that TikTok does not like is feeding videos. Even if you're feeding frozen thawed, TikTok is not gonna like it, and it will flag your video. And you can appeal it and you can get your life back, but honestly, it's not worth going through the hassle of getting banned, because the thing about TikTok flags your video automatically. Even if you appeal it and they restore your account automatically is shadow banned. So then you have to kind of fight to get back to those views, those likes, and everything like that. So I just want to throw that out there. Be careful with that. Unfortunately, we know it's what snakes eat. We know it's a part of life. There's so many videos of, lions attacking hyenas and buffalo and gazelle and all types of stuff. That's fine on TikTok, but for whatever reason, people have an issue with snakes eating, dead rodents or whatever. So just be mindful of that. That's like the only warning that I want to add. And then to go live on TikTok, for those that are wondering, you have to have at least 1,000 followers, which honestly is easy to get to. TikTok is the platform literally meant to go viral. Honestly, just post a TikTok every so often. And you'll get your followers. It's super simple. TikTok will grow fast. My Instagram account is almost 6 years old. My TikTok is 2 years old, and my TikTok has surpassed my Instagram.
Yeah, I average about 100 new followers per live.
Yeah. So, again, it's something dope to get into. It's fun and it's a great way to educate. That's how I plan on leaving. My main goal is to basically leave some type of positive impact on the reptile community, to where people are like, okay, man, he really contributed, and that's really it. I don't want to be just I don't like being grouped into things. I'm not, a pet tuber or an influencer or just, a content creator. I literally try to do my best in making sure I do things responsibly, but also helping that next generation get to where we need them to be. Because once we're gone, somebody has to care for these animals.
Yeah.
But also, there are so many people who have the complete wrong idea about these animals, and if we don't continue to fight for it, then we're going to be doomed. There's so many people that hop in my live and how do you feel about what's going on in the Everglades? That's probably a question I answer every live. And a lot of them are just like, oh no, I didn't know that, or I didn't know this, or wow, that's crazy. It's just like there's a wealth of knowledge that we have in the reptile community as reptile keepers that it's nice to be able to share. And again, you can go live on your own platform without being interrupted, and you're able to put out the message that you want to put out. And then also, um, there's certain comments that'll pop in there, and it's just like, if you don't want to answer them, you don't have to, so you have complete control over the conversation. You have complete control over what information is put out there. So it's a great platform for what we do, if you're utilizing it the right way, I'll say.
If you're in it for the reasons of education and bringing new people in the hobby, if that's your passion, because people, this whole myth that breeders don't care about the animals, I'm sorry, there's no way you could. Don't get me wrong, there is a level of that, but most breeders loved animals first and then decided to breed. So if you are not a person that is in it for educating people first, like I would never go in there and just sell. When people ask, I answer. That's how it works for me. You never hear me. I don't start it off with, here's my morph market. Like, I don't do that. It's about the education. And then as we get through, people might ask, hey, what's your morph market? And I drop the link. It's not pinned there or anything. I'll just drop it for when people ask it, and then I'll pin it if someone asks it in the comments. But if you are for the education first, it's to your benefit. Like I said, for me, I'm not having to fight for customers in the same reticulated python communities that everybody else is fighting for. I'm creating my own community of people who are going to care for the animals the way that I want them to care for the animals, and people I can kind of keep an eye on. I always joke with them about that. Like, when every time they go live, I get to see the baby that
She definitely keeping an eye on me, y'all. So every time I go live and she pop in there, I'm like, look, here's Tootsie. Here she go right here. But yeah, and one of my favorite things about it is it's like you can create your own environment within your live. You can have your own little community. So I call my group in my live, I call them the God Squad, and we have fun. We educate each other because there's other reptile keepers. When you have other reptile keepers,
like I do,
yeah, when you have most definitely. There's other, like when the non-reptile keepers who watch us regularly, they kind of see how we cross platforms, and they see who knows who they think is so dope. So that's why I like going to the expos and stuff when we go live, and they can be like, oh snap, you were with so and so, and then they learn to kind of recognize us, together, and it's like they support both of us, because I'll get off a live and then go jump in Nicole's live or go jump in someone else's live, and I'm helping them, and I'm like, oh snap, you're here, you were in this live. When they get to see how connected a lot of us are, that's where you kind of get to see how strong we can be if we continue it. So it's dope to just build like your own unique community, and again, this is a whole new level of people, and it literally reaches out to the masses. So that's the one part I do enjoy about it, is just being able to have my own little environment of people. Once you've been live so many times, you'll see repeat people coming back, and they'll keep coming back to ask you questions, and it's dope. One thing I love doing is answering questions about the reptiles that I keep. That's one thing I'll never get tired of. I don't care how dry my mouth get. Take me a little sip of water, and I'm gonna keep going. But being able, or seeing them, ask me to pull out a certain snake, and they'll say the snake's name, and it's like, okay, cool. This person really enjoys what they're watching, so it's dope. It's fun.
And from a female perspective, like when me and Dre line up side by side, right? most people are now seeing a perspective of, well, damn, he keeps those and she keeps those too. Like, it's like giving it a real vision of who we are. Dre, although they don't believe it, being much younger than I am, so you're seeing two different generation of keepers, but how we get along still as common reptile keepers, and we learn from each other. And then also what I was saying is that being on TikTok more for me now is I'm starting to see more keepers of different species that, like I spark interest in. You're like, oh wow, cool. I didn't realize that was that cool, keeping that kind of animal and things like that. And then also one of the things that I constantly say is to hear people over and over again how their reptiles help them. And if there is no greater message that we need to be spreading, y'all, is these animals that people fear so much have been the therapy animals for all of us. One way, shape, form. It's not one reptile person who I've ever spoken to that not one in this chat, not one outside this chat ever that's ever said, no, they didn't do nothing for me. Like, I got into reptiles just because they don't do anything for me mentally, physically, or emotionally. Not one.
I tell you what, I don't know what's going on with me. I don't care what's going on with me. You give me some cages to clean, therapeutic. I'm good. I'm good to go. Give me some cages to clean. I'm good to go. Speaking of, you just said, something about like, you get to see different species, different reptiles and see people on them. Everybody tell Nicole in the comments that she needs a rhino iguana.
Oh, shut up. No, I don't. And stop it, because I told you Jeremy Boy got those, and like he got some nice ones. I be coming back from Florida. We drive and we be coming back with a rhino.
I pull my little ASAP Rocky out. She's like, he's so cute. He cute too. He cute on me.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all.
They're fun though, and that's what I want. I want an ambassador, lizard, something I can take out. They get pretty big. They're not, they're rambunctious, but they're not known to be like super defensive. He's very, very chill. Very chill.
It's
and,
cute. It's not an ugly
sitting on your hand, eating, veggies and stuff like that. It's dope. It's fun. So, you need one. That's a Nicole lizard right there. Like sitting on your shoulder type.
Yes, Asian water monitor. She has Aki. She has Tegus.
Yeah, for sure.
Tegus who actually wear her out way more than even Retake could ever.
That's why you need a lizard that you can just chill with. That's it.
I can't. But when they good moment. We be in the bed chilling and everything with them. You just gotta figure out like what moment are they on every single day? What are we doing here? And then my sweetie Petey, my water monitor. I can't. Where am I put a daggone rhino iguana? I don't have no more lizard room. I got snake room, but I don't have no more lizard room.
You'll have room. That's why you're trying to get him to get that man cave, huh? You're trying to get him up out of there.
Man, he actually is thinking about making half of that, like redoing something to it. Nah, it'll never happen. That's the only part of the house that literally like belongs to his space. Good. No one goes there, no one invades.
Good for him. I like that for him.
Well, I think everybody should, which is cool. Like I said, we can be in the house and not see each other for 8 hours on days that we need to not see each other for 8 hours.
Yeah. First, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's cool. So, but yeah, y'all. So anybody who definitely is doing this social media thing and want to educate, TikTok is the place. That's where you're going to reach that market of people that don't know that we weirdos exist. And we can bring more weirdos into the community. That's all I have.
Yeah, I think as reptile keepers though, we've been killing it because I do like scrolling and seeing other responsible keepers showing off their animals. Because I definitely jump in and show support. Again, I said responsible keepers because there's a lot of people.
The most important part. Don't take no foolishness over there. We got enough perspective foolishness, and foolishness does include handling venomous without a hook. Like, don't get me wrong. There are some venomous keepers on there that shows responsible keeper. There's some that's I'm like, what are you doing? Like, and this is just a close call. Why are we even showing this? So it's not about keeping venomous. And we say that like when people, because some reason people think that every snake keep venomous, and we be like, no, we don't.
Or has a
that takes
or
a
has
whole
a gang
nother
of ball
level of
pythons,
keeping.
right?
We ain't there. I ain't willing to die for the cause. But if we're going to show that, we should be showing the appropriate way of handling those animals. Just like we do with the retics. Like you don't see me on there letting retics wrap around my neck. I always tell people this is how I hold them. This is how I manage them. Look how they helping me. I show things like that. I show like, look, the animal know I'm struggling with him right now. Watch how it helps me, and watch how it moves with me. It flows with me, that type of stuff. But you're not going to see me on there trying to be a hero and going on there because I can and putting great big old snakes that I love around my neck. No, because the reality of it is that big old snake need to grab onto me. This neck is, and I ain't doing that. We ain't going out like that. After a tough day at work, a few minutes with one of my snakes is so relaxing. Absolutely.
Definitely.
At the time of stress, they just make you forget. Even with your children, I watch it all the time. Like I just watch how kids would just bring it down because they got a snake in their hand, or if they're upset about something, worried about something, that the snake becomes their total focus. I tell my grandkids, when they was going through, come on, let's change the retic waters, and it just takes their mind off of whatever's going on in their little brains. But TikTok gives us the opportunity to show people, and I actually met on TikTok a girl that started following me who is from I think it was my second live, Dre, who is a psychologist, and she's interested, she's watching us to learn more and more about how, we show that in that dynamic in reptile keeping and things like that. So, who knows where that can go? Like I said, I'll reach out to NIH, try it, just try it, try it with different people. I was watching, they was doing it in prisons. Someone was taking snakes to prisons, helping inmates with, therapy and stuff like that. So, I just think that we just need to show the greatness of these animals, and to just preserve the hobby with great reptile keepers. And when I say great reptile keepers, not people who just want to take pictures with animals to show, how nice the animal look and things like that, and then throw them back in a filthy cage and don't take care of them, don't show any love with them off the camera. We're not talking about that. We're talking about creating people who are passionate about it, who can continue to grow the hobby even when we're long gone, because it's definitely a difference between animal keeping in the 80s, good and bad, and animal keepings in current time. We should continue to educate so there's a good balance of the two, so it creates a whole nother generation of amazing keepers. And if you're a breeder, it will create a whole nother customer base for you that you can rely on, and they can rely on you to provide them what they need. And if you are a content creator or whatever you use your animals for, like some people use them for like the snake father, I mean, hell, I would love that. You know what I'm saying? Like he living a life with the snakes. So whatever, you know what I'm saying?
You and me both.
Like, whatever your thing is, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the life. That's really
super cool dude, by the way.
Great fun way and unique way in how he created that whole lane for himself. Because I can remember even 5 years ago, he was doing it. But it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger for him. And that's just super dope. Hey, Bosa.
He live in a perfect place for it.
Yeah.
Cali is the perfect
utilizing.
place.
Yep. Just again, he's in a perfect place for that. But we're all in different pockets. Like if you are, and that's the unfortunate part about Florida. If Florida was smart, they can be making like Disney with reticulated pythons and Burmese pythons and people presenting them. Man.
Mm-hmm.
Man, and then being able to educate during that process, all of that, but also showing kids a whole nother dynamic in Disney. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't think that people, understand the beauty of these animals to the level and how the impact of them, especially with children, can be. So, but TikTok gives us the opportunity to do it. Now, I'm grateful for it, and I'm happy, and I hope that that atmosphere just stays consistent. That even as we encourage people to come over, that the right people come over. That provides favorable content, but it not. You know what, and Dre, the other good thing is that the good part about what we do and what others like us do, even if somebody see bad, it still gives the opportunity to see the correct way. So it gives us the opportunity to kind of correct the atmosphere on the correct way and collaborate, because there's sometimes where there's no right or wrong way, right? Me and Dre don't always do the things exactly the same way, but we collaborate to show that both ways work.
Right, but we're both educated people and keeping our reptiles. I'm speaking more so to the people that just get on there and just do dumb shit.
Right.
And you're just like, why are you doing that? Like there was a guy on there and he had a dwarf came in and he was holding him on his back like this. Everybody's like, they thought it was so cool. And I'm just like, those animals weren't meant to do that. So it's just like, stuff like that people do, but because the human brain is so delicate and we're amused so easily, people enjoy that.
Well,
and
it's
people don't
even
understand.
when you watch the comments underneath a Jay Brewer video, for example, how all the non-reptile keepers are, you're brave, this is cool, this is like, oh man, this is this, and the reptile keepers is like, why in the hell are you doing that? Like this man, like this is not right, and so that goes to your point. How imagine that uneducated person getting a Cayman and trying the same thing and losing a finger. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense at all.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Yep. And that's basically it. So just use the forum, I think, for because everybody keeps saying it. What can we do? What can we do? What can we do? We talked a lot about that with Sean. Sean's thing is utilizing the shows for better education. I do agree that it should be more educational focused and sale focused. You know what I'm saying? But
speaking of
from in there where someone is teaching people how to properly care for ball pythons, how someone in their show how they safely handle and the husbandry of reticulated python. Somebody is on it out there showing the difference between a corn snake and a ball python. That type of thing. Incorporated into the show. So
speaking of, I actually have a educational event to do because of one of my TikTok lives.
So that's what I'm saying. That's absolutely amazing. Like something that's another perfect way to get that message out there to the children, because that's what we really need to be focusing on, and adults who don't otherwise. Like somebody's asked the other day on the live, well, I'm afraid of them, but my child want one. Can I get one for my child? Well, if you're afraid of them and it's a reticulated python, your child is not going to be the one handling that snake. You're going to have to help that child, even if you wanted your child to have one. So I'm going to tell you no, your child can't have one. But being able to answer that for people, the next person might have told that person yes, and that's how we end up with a reticulated python floating around in some waters that they shouldn't be, because that person realized the answer should have been no.
Yep.
But right, that's it. Anything else, Jerry, before we pop out of here?
No, I'm just excited to see all my people at Daytona this week.
Yes, everybody will definitely see y'all this week. I need it. Definitely ready to to go. Just definitely need a little just happy time with everybody, But that's all we have. Everybody have an amazing day. Have an amazing week. Yes. See you guys soon. That we'll be seeing. Life be lifing, but you be living. Peace.